Okay, friends, this is like take 5 or 6. I've been up with a dog. Dog's got a bad stomach, woke up about 2 or 3 times the last couple of nights. And, well, those of you with dogs know how that goes. I want you to feel my pain. Okay. All right, enough of that. Hey, last week, I introduced you to my lethal friend, my tenor saxophone mouthpiece. We talked about mouthpieces last week, and I promised you that this week we would talk about our other lethal friend, or sometimes enemy, the reed. Yeah, we'll get to that in just a minute. Don't forget that I'm offering private sessions via Zoom at a discount for those of you who are part of our YouTube community. DGM10 is your discount code for the month of October. DGM10. And we can hook it up through my email account, davegoodsax@gmail.com. I'll send you all the information and particulars, davegoodsax@gmail.com. And those of you who have signed up and have gotten a chance to work with them, always a pleasure to meet face to face, so to speak, all right? At any rate, how this works is those of you who are watching already know how to play. You know your way around the horn, right? Even if you're a beginner, you still know your way around the horn, and you're here, and you know what you want to get better at. That's what we tend to focus on. So I set up a little phone call to kind of outline some ideas first and hear from you about where you want to go, and what's happening with your playing and what's not working with your playing that you want to make work. And then I craft an hour-long session, and that's what we do. It's not like a shotgun, scattergun, one size fits all. This is tailored to where you're doing what you need and what you perceive or have been told that you would like to improve on with your saxophone playing. All right, so DGM10. That's your discount code for Zoom lessons. More information, I dropped my reed, at davegoodsax@gmail.com. Where'd it go? Oh, here it is. Hold on. Oh, no. Drop my reed. davegoodsax@gmail.com. Texas rule, right? It was only on the floor for 5 seconds. Right? Soak it in some hot water. Anyway, this is not a lesson today about how to set your reeds up, how to geek your reed, how to sand your reed, how to trim your reed, how to soak your reed, how to store your reed. None of that today, okay? This is simply about how do you know when it's time to bump up in reed size? How do you know when it's time to go for a larger reed, all right, than the one that you're playing right now? And I'm assuming, first of all, that the reed that you're playing is of a quality brand name. There are several of them, and I don't get paid by any of them, so I'm not going to mention their names. But there are some really good names. And I don't play the reeds that came, if you bought an import a sax from China for less than $300. It came with reeds. Throw those reeds away. They're the worst reeds known to mankind. Get rid of them, okay? I mean no disrespect. We've tried to play them here in this very room. They don't work. Get yourself some brand name reeds. And there's some real good reeds, and I hope you're playing them. Whether they're, cane reeds, this is, made out of cane, or you're using synthetic reeds. Lots of really awesome synthetic brands that sound really, really good. So, whatever you're using, quality, good brand name. This is the noise maker. This is the thing, the buzzer. This is what makes the noise that your saxophone, that tuba brass, amplifies and turns, helps turn into that beautiful, beautiful sound. So how do you know when it's time to bump up to a larger reed size? Well, first of all, why do you have to do that? All right, who's telling you that you need to do that? All right, that's the bottom line right now. Is it a teacher? Do you have a saxophone teacher? And are they telling you need to get a bigger reed? That's one, and that's a qualified source. Is it because you read something in a saxophone forum that Grover Washington used to play 5-tip reeds on a giant mouthpiece or something? Which I think is probably urban legend, and he may have bought 5s and sanded them down, but I don't know that he ever played 5s. And I'll probably take a lot of hits for this. But I wonder what is it? What is this? What is the problem here that you're trying to solve by bumping up in reed size? What is it? What are you looking for here? Clarity at the top end, Well, if you go for a big reed, you're going to get a little more clarity at the top end for a while, all right? But you're going to lose a little bit at the bottom end. So it's, it's a little bit of a give and take. I would say my metric for you is that if you're displeased with your tone, all right, and I'm assuming your saxophone's in good repair, and you got a mouthpiece that you're in love with, and you've been playing for a while, more than 7, 8, 9, 10 days. I'm talking about a mouthpiece that you maybe got 6 months into, right? And now you're feeling like, well, yeah, I'm kind of feeling like I need better tone for whatever reason, whatever quality of tone you're looking for, and you're playing a reed that's good, that's worthy, and you're rotating them out. You're not just playing one reed for an entire summer. No, you're actually playing a couple of them because they wear down a little bit. So your 3 reed by the end of summer that you've been playing all through summer school is now going to be more like a 2.5 reed. So that when you put a 3 reed on there, it's going to be like, oh my God, that's so stiff, I can't play it. Anyway, are the reeds that you're using, let me ask you this, are the reeds that you're using right now, are they less resistant? And I'm talking about out of the box, good, not like I said, not players, not ones you've had on the horn for months. Are the reeds out of the box, do they blow too easily? Are they closing up a little bit? Are you able to close them? Or are they jumping octaves on you? Are they doing those things that make it hard for you to play? Are the reeds doing those kinds of things to your playing that make you stop and have to think about it? Because that's the problem. If we have to stop and think about our equipment, we're already behind the game. We want to get stuff going here that we don't have to think about, all right? You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to think about it. You have to think about is you're playing, all right, your tone and sound. So if somebody has told you, like a teacher, like a qualified teacher or a band instructor, to bump up in reed size because, you're squawking too much, or you're having difficulty with the clarity and the beauty of the notes on the top end of your saxophone. Think about that. Try it out. Buy a couple of them. Try them out and see what flavor works for you, and then stick with that. Again, let's give it the 3 to 6 month metric, and see at the end of that period of time if that has solved the problem that you wanted to solve in the first place. All right. I think I've mentioned before on this channel that I used to play, back when I played in very loud rock bands, I used to play a 10-star Supertone Master Auto-Link piece on my tenor sax, which is over there in the corner, and I used to use a number 4. I had some number 4 plastic cover reeds. I get beat up all the time for plastic cover, but I like them. They worked for me. They gave me enough resistance and pushback, and they forced me to push a little bit harder. Now, that's a big tip opening, all right? A 10-star is a big tip opening. My articulation was in the toilet, not good. You're not going to articulate, nearly as quickly as you're going to be able to articulate on your 4C or a 6 or a 6-star or, anything, maybe even a 7.5, something like that. You can articulate a lot faster than 10. So what was I doing with a mouthpiece that big, which is like a cannon, and a reed that's stiff? Well, I was doing the Clarence Clemons rock and roll thing. I really wasn't playing a lot of notes. I was playing a very few notes. Any altissimo? Oh, hell no. Not with a tip that big. But I was playing, the notes and doing the big growl and all that sort of thing. But one of the things that I heard recently on the internet here is you want to get louder, get a bigger reed size. No, if you want to get louder, get on the freaking microphone. Yes, get on the microphone. If you put a bigger reed size just to get louder, and you're playing in a situation where everybody around you is very loud, and you think you need to match that, you know what? You're going to lose finger dexterity. You cannot overblow to keep up with a very loud drum kit, several amplified instruments on a stage. You're not going to be able to do that. If you don't have a monitor coming back or in-ear monitor so that you can hear yourself, you're in the weeds there, right? So you're naturally going to try to blow that loud and try to make that loud of a sound. And when you're blowing that loud, your fingers, I swear, lock up, and you play real minimal solos. So don't do that, all right? You don't need to get a stiffer reed to play loud. That's a gimmick. If you want to play louder, you have got to use your air, and it's your embouchure. Your air and your embouchure. Where's your tongue? Don't say it's in my mouth. I knew that. But anyway, your embouchure, and that's another session entirely. To play loud, you can play super loud with what you have. All right. I think I've read that Cannonball Adderley, I wasn't around. I didn't get to talk to him. But I read that he used a number 2 reed on a Meyer 5. Some folks said 2.5, but somebody else who said they knew him said he was blowing a 2 reed. Somebody else also said that Michael Brecker was blowing a number 2 strength reed on his horns. So really it comes down to, if you want to get louder, develop that by using your air, right, and your embouchure. All right. But again, that's not the province of this lesson. The province of this lesson is, when do you know when it's time to bump up a reed size? So let's just say you don't have a school band, and let's just say you don't have a teacher, and let's just say, you're working out by yourself, and you're practicing, after work, and you're listening to yourself play, and maybe you're recording yourself and you're doing some playback and stuff, and you're just saying, I just don't have that Stan Getz tone yet. All right. Or, I'm getting too many squeaks. My tone, my sound is thin. My reed tends to close up if I blow too hard. That's when it's time to start thinking about moving up a half step, okay? Move up a half step. Like if you're blowing a 2 now, grab a 2.5. If you're blowing a 2.5, jump up to a 3. And again, make these moves in, let's just say, 6-month intervals, okay? I want you to stick with one species and one strength for at least a half a year. Get used to that. Do your long tones, do your scale, do your exercise, your arpeggios, play some gigs, whatever. And really record yourself and listen back, and be your best evaluator, okay? Hey, if you have any questions, DaveGoodSax@gmail.com. Don't forget, your discount code for one-on-one Zoom sessions is DGM10. DaveGoodSax@gmail.com. Hey, I hope this helped, and if you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comments below, or send me an email. And all right, there are so many tools that you can use, and so many guides, and so many, in fact, people on YouTube right now that are sanding, scraping, cutting, trimming, clipping. If you're into that, go find them. I don't do any of that. I got into this Walter Blanding thing. He's with Lincoln Center Orchestra, great tenor sax player. And one day he was doing a master class, and he said, I just play what comes out of the box. I swear to God, that's what he said. I'm paraphrasing, but he said, I just play what comes out of the box. Just like Charlie Parker. Charlie Parker really, he didn't do any big reed stuff. He just played whatever he could get, and he always sounded like Charlie Parker. Walter's got wonderful, wonderful sound. Did just playing anything that came out of the box work for me? No, it didn't work for me, because I'm not Walter Blanding. But, I'm getting better at it. All right, so at any rate, I hope this helps. Hope to see you again. Next week, we're going to talk about getting emotion, the sound of emotion. The saxophone is an amazingly emotive instrument, right? It's sad, happy, anything in between that, right? We'll talk a little bit about getting that into your sound, and how that is every bit as important as learning the coolest arpeggios to play over 2/5s, okay? All right, take care. Practice hard, do good work, keep in touch, and I thank you all for being there.